If you think how long it took them to identify the poisoning in the case of the Skripals in Salisbury, when they were poisoned with the Novichok agent, it takes a while to rule things out. And particularly if something is highly toxic, it will be there in very low concentrations. And many screening tests would just not pick that substance up. So you need to have a very sophisticated screening system, and then good, capable analysts using sophisticated equipment to eventually narrow something down and identify it. So a blanket ruling out within 24 hours, well, I would want more than a second opinion on that. I'm sure that many private planes could be perfectly well set up to accommodate somebody. But of course, I mean, there are all sorts of other things that go with a flight, you know, changes in pressure and what have you. And you would have to judge what was appropriate, you know, because people with certain conditions are advised not to fly because of changes in pressure and what have you. And so that might be another consideration that would have to be taken into account. This is a man who is a prominent critic of the Kremlin. Any illness and sudden illness would obviously be of concern. I think really it's in everybody's interests that the family's doctors be able to have access to him to make a judgment that is in the best interests of Mr. Navalny, to make a judgment that the family feel comfortable about and that they can accept. And if there's nothing to fear, if the man has not been poisoned, but it is some other condition, then it is not going to rebound on the Kremlin in any way. But I think the family's doctors ought to be able to go in, give a second opinion. And when you have someone who is as ill as Mr. Navalny appears to be, then really you want as many brains as possible to, you know, make an assessment in the best interests of him.